Hi and welcome back to the Daily Dog Walk. This is the final part of Katie's story. We've talked about the dynamics that shaped her childhood and how those patterns followed her into adulthood, creating distance between her and her mum. Today she shares what happened when they were brought back together, how the truth surfaced, how they reconnected, and how those family dynamics continued to cast a shadow right to the very end. This is the final chapter of her story.
Well, one day I went to walk out and Mum burst into tears, and this is when she was still completely with it. And I was like, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I messed up, didn't I?" And I was like, "No, it's okay, Mum." She went, "No, I did. I messed up. I knew who was who, and I messed up, and I should have listened." And I was like, "Mum, it's okay." And she went, "It isn't." And she just sobbed, and I had to sit back down because she wouldn't stop crying.
Do you think so? Was she referring to basically listening to your sister?
And she knew who Teresa was. She'd always known.
Yeah.
You know, so she'd realised that who was who, and I'm the one sitting next to her bed now. And she's like, "What have I done?" And I was like, "It's okay, I'm here now." And she was like, "But I lost you." I'm like, "I'm here now. That's all that matters." And over this course of this time, my dad's coming in and he's going, "Oh, we're so glad we've got you back. Oh, she's such a bitch, your sister. She's such a cow. Oh, she's lied to us." And I just looked at him because I thought, now you're switching back.
Yeah.
Because you realise you need someone here,
someone
and I'm the one in the country. And I thought, I'm not going to have you now slag Teresa off to me.
Yeah.
No matter what she's done, you're not playing this with me. And I looked at him and I went, "Don't." And he just stopped. And that is the last time me and him discussed it, because I'm like, "You're not back in my..." I'm not back. I didn't go anywhere.
You're not playing those games. You're not joining that pool, that cesspool.
Yeah.
And it is a cesspool, isn't it? Yeah.
And I'm not doing this he said, she said crap. No, you made your choice.
Yeah.
And you're lying in it.
You were there for your mum. That was the only reason
that's why I was there.
You were there.
Because my mum was always the victim. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
So, so my dad would be like, "Oh, we're not seeing her anymore. We're gonna drop her." I'm like, "There's no need.
There's no need." Yeah.
I'm not in this. I'm here for
It's
mum.
like they feel like you need to hear that.
Yeah.
Because they would.
Yeah.
That's the kind of playing games that
you need to play up to me.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So mum got better and was released, and there was nothing in this world that was going to make me step inside that back gate again at their house. I would see my mum outside of there, but I wanted nothing to do with him. I wanted nothing to do with my sister or her toxic husband. I didn't want to be a part of any of it. The only person, when my mum had a stroke, that got on a plane and come over here was my niece. And at that point, she'd cut her mum out of her life and her dad, because she knew who they were. She saw what was being said to them about me, and she was just like, "What?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I've been here. Like, none of that's true. She didn't say that stuff."
Yeah.
So she decided to cut them out.
Right.
So she come over when she heard her nan was poorly. She got straight on a plane. But my dad doesn't even speak to her because she's been pushed out now.
No, she's been pushed out. Yeah, days.
Yeah. I know. It's just, honestly, you couldn't make it up, right?
Yeah.
But
then, I think how old is she?
She's 24 now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get to a certain age, don't you, though? And I think you start to really see people for people, not just the labels of mum or dad, or, do you know what I mean? Aunties or uncles or granddads, and that you see the traits.
Yeah, and she watched it and she was just like, "What are you all on about? That's not true." And she couldn't watch it. But she's not the baby. She's the third one, so she'll be 26. And then she came and stayed with me, and we had a really illuminating discussion about her upbringing, and that's when I realised that it wasn't trauma with Teresa. She was the same and abused her kids the same way my dad did us. In some ways worse, like psychologically much worse, and not protecting them. But anyway, that's Lauren's story, not mine.
Yeah.
But so then my mum had another stroke on the Christmas day and got rushed back in. I wasn't going to go. I was just going to wait and see what happened. I didn't want to be around my dad. I felt like mum was even more hurt then that I'd not come to see her once she'd got out, but I just didn't want to go there. It's not that I didn't want to see her. And then Tess called me and said, "She's just had another stroke in the hospital. It's bad. You need to get here." And I got there. Mum was still mentally with it then, but she was really poorly from that point. And then I spent most of my time there. And there was times in the hospital where we actually had conversations, and I wonder if Mum knew her days were numbered, or she thought they were and wanted to tell me, but she told me she was sorry about Dad. She was sorry she never protected us. I never want to hear any of this from my dad, because I wouldn't believe it. I mean, there'd be a motive, you know.
Yeah, I know what you
mean.
And
I don't expect it.
You don't expect it to be sincere.
It's not that I don't want to. I don't expect it to ever happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he would ever see it.
But you know,
wrong.
he's not sincere.
No, he doesn't know he's done anything wrong. You know.
Yeah.
But that was really valuable to hear from my mum, because even though I have and always will see her as a victim, there were times when I thought, why didn't you protect us? Like, I would have my kids, you know. And I struggled with that. That was the only part I struggled with. And for her to sit there and say, I'm so sorry, I didn't protect you. I should have done something. I shouldn't have let him do what he did. And, you know, and I'm sorry about what happened. And I'm sorry I didn't back you. And I'm sorry I didn't tell them, you know.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of really good conversations that we may not have ever had if she hadn't got poorly, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then with surgeries and everything that went wrong and all sorts of problems with blood flow to her brain, eventually she had vascular dementia and didn't really know what was going on.
So at least you had that time.
But we had that time, yeah.
Yeah. It's sad though that it took your mum to get ill for you to reconnect properly again.
Yeah.
To have those conversations.
I think that was probably always going to be the way. Although I don't know, because like I said, in the last couple of years that she was well, she was opening up. So maybe it would have happened, but I guess it felt more urgent then. And maybe in a way, because she did say she had got a lot of shame, and she cried and cried a lot in the hospital when she talked about it. So I wonder if maybe that shame would have stopped her ever saying anything.
I'm wondering would she have ever reached out to you if she hadn't have got ill?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Do you ever think that? Would she have ever reached out?
No.
I know you don't think she'd ever defy your dad.
No.
She never got the strength to do that.
She wouldn't have done that.
That's really sad, isn't it?
I know full well she would have never come to me.
Yeah.
Because that would have been betraying my dad.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have done that. She just wouldn't. She was way too trained
to
do that.
So after your, I know we talked about it last time when your mum passed. How do you feel about that now? It's been a year. Has it been a year now?
I actually thought I was doing really well, and I think that was partly because she was so poorly at the end. You know, she was in nursing homes. Like I said, they had to put her in one because Dad attacked her at home. So for her safety, they put her in nursing homes, and to be honest, Dad couldn't cope. He couldn't look after her. That wasn't fair on him either. And then we got her moved to Newmarket, and I think it was only 6 weeks, but she started she had her first seizure when I was there. And I also know, like, how much my mum was such a proud woman, and she was so private, such a lady, you know, in that respect. To think that people were cleaning her and looking after her, and that she was in that bad a way, would have been the worst ending for her. She would have hated that. Her dignity to be gone like that. So, and the seizures got so bad, and they were all the time. And thankfully, I was the only one that saw them, because I'll never get out of my head as long as I live. But I remember my dad first coming up there after the seizures, because obviously I had to have some contact with him because he was in and out. And he would come up there, and I made him promise me if she started to leave the room, for 2 reasons. One, I didn't want him to live the rest of his life with that in his head, because why should anyone else have to when I knew how bad it was? And also, my mum would hate that my dad saw her like that. It would really bother her. And I remember one time he was there and it did start, and I saw her going, and I was like, Dad, get out. And he was like, and he didn't want to leave her. I'm like, get out. And I literally pushed him out of the room and shut the door in his face. I felt so bad. But I'm like, I don't want him to see that. I didn't want anybody to have to see it that loved her, you know. But so when she passed, it was a relief for her. You know, she stopped suffering, because seizures were constant, and it was starving her brain, and it was just horrendous.
That was the word that I was thinking of the whole time, just relief.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see someone you love in pain.
Especially her, and how she was, you know, and she really did suffer, and there's nobody on this earth deserved to suffer less than her. She was just about everyone else her whole life, you know. So
how old was your mum? Sorry.
She was 70. Oh. So yeah, I mean, it's mad to think that, you know, the week before her first stroke, she was running around like a lunatic on her bike, you know.
Yeah.
You'd never believe, but I mean, with everything she did to her health, I suppose. But so yeah, when she was gone, I think there was just I was relieved for her that she wasn't suffering. And then it was straight into my daughter's wedding, and that was all go, go, go.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, oh, finally the wedding's over, everything's done. But it wasn't till January, or really Christmas, because I spent most of Christmas with her in the last couple of weeks, sitting beside her, feeling the atmosphere in the air, you know, the smells, the lights, and it's just sort of brings that feeling about, and it reminds you, and you're like back there again.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was really hard, December, and then January came, and it just hit me. It really hit me. And I think January was worse than when I lost her.
So it almost feels to me that you were grieving the relationship already.
Yeah.
Weren't you?
Yeah.
And then you've had that happen, you know, then your mum...
I lost Mum 2 years before I lost her.
You did, yeah.
Because I lost her the year before when she had the stroke and her mind went. But I lost her the year before that.
Now, this is when I use that word regret. Do you regret, now that your mum has passed and it's been a year, do you think back to that time when you weren't talking, and do you have any regrets in that time now? Like, not, because I know they you know.
Yeah, there was nothing I could have done. They didn't want any contact with me.
Yeah.
The thing I regret, and it's not really a regret of mine, is that, and I mentioned this before, I had asked Mum before Teresa ever come back on the scene, to see a doctor, and that's something that me and Teresa discussed. She was like, just make sure she gets checked over.
Yes, yeah.
And she had actually rang and said to the doctor she wanted to make an appointment. She said, my daughter's worried about my drinking. She wants to I want to do some checkups. And because then Teresa came in and everything happened and she whisked him off to the States, Mum never got checked.
Right.
And I often think, well, I know if she'd have been checked and I found her health problems, probably wouldn't have let her fly, because it was getting on the planes and getting the blood clot in her leg, which then shot up into her brain. That's what did it. Had she not got on the plane, had she stayed here and got the doctor's appointment, she might still be with us.
So yeah.
And you can't say that. You don't know.
You don't know,
but,
do you?
You know, it might have prolonged it.
Yeah.
She might still be with us mentally.
Yeah.
You know, she might have, they would have put her on blood thinners, you know, blood pressure meds. She was diabetic, I didn't know it.
Yeah. It's what ifs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really happy though that you don't have any regrets, because I think that's a really dangerous place to be when you're in grief.
I think when you've, like us, you've had a lot of counselling around the people that have been around you and the damage they do, you can easily separate yourself from that.
You can. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the conversations I've had with people, and they think it's heartless. Sometimes it's completely the opposite, actually. It's the complete opposite. It's not, I don't think I'm selfish. Do you know what I mean? The amount of good I've done for my family, from disconnecting from, you know, the toxic people. Do you know what I mean? My children are happy. They're thriving. You know, I know I've lived that life. I know what it's like to live with people who are toxic individuals, narcissistic, who you don't know left from right, and it's not an environment.
It scares me sometimes how easily I can cut someone out of my life.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Like when I decide, that's it. Done.
Same. I'm the same. Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a sneeze fit now. And it's not that I don't hurt.
Yeah.
You know, I grieved my sister when she did that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for months I grieved her. That's why I say, like, she died when my mum died. Sorry, I'm going to have a proper... Hope you cut this out. Oh my God. You know, even though I knew she was going all toxic on me and I knew, you know, whatever, I still grieved it. Yeah. You know, I cried for bloody weeks before I messaged her and said, I don't know what's going on. but you're being, this is not healthy, so I'm walking away from you. I found out later that was because of what she was doing, mum and dad. I didn't know at the time, but I still grieved her and that relationship I thought we had. When I lost mum that year, I grieved her. I went to be there for her. I was never going to not be at her bedside, no matter what. Even if she didn't choose me, I knew she couldn't, and I was never going to not be there. And that's the thing that probably pisses me off. I expect that kind of behaviour from Teresa and her just awful husband, and I expect it from my dad. But when she turned at the end and she had those 2 weeks where she was having back-to-back seizures and really suffering, Teresa didn't show up. She didn't get on a plane. And I'm like, you wanted her so much that you were willing to cut out everybody she had here and leave her isolated. Where are you?
Where are you now?
She didn't even come to her funeral.
Wow.
That's how selfish she is, because it's about her and her discomfort. Because if she came over, she might have to face me.
Right. And she couldn't put that to one side.
No, and she can't face me because she knows she's full of it.
But
so that actually really irritated me. I'm like, here she is suffering. Where are you? You wanted to cut off from everyone. But you're not here when it's needed. But I was never going to be anywhere else. I don't care how many times mum didn't protect us or or couldn't. I think she couldn't. I always knew who mum was. No matter what anybody's done, mum was good inside. She always meant well. And she had a real heart. So she was never going to be alone as long as I was around.
Good. And to finish off, when so you've got a new business venture. And I think it'd be really, really exciting for you to tell me about it, because it plays homage a bit to your mum.
So mum was really everyone would go on about mum's famous cakes. She was really well known for her baking, her sausage rolls and her pies, and her cakes were amazing, and she taught all of us to bake. And I've always baked, so I've just started my own cake business, and it's called Margie's Famous Bakes. And she's all over the branding.
I know, it's brilliant, it's lovely.
I'm going to get an apron, I think, with that.
With that
on.
You should.
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be making mum's cakes.
Making her famous cakes. Amazing.
And she'll be there for all of it. And mum always wanted to do that. She always wanted to, like, if I'd have started a bakery or a cake shop or anything like that, mum would have been right there. She'd have loved it.
So it's definitely something that she's going to be approving
and
of.
It does make me really sad that she's not here doing it. Really sad. But at the same time, I kind of know she is.
It's keeping her alive, and especially if it's her recipes as well. So
her face should be on something.
Definitely. I think it's a happy ending. It is a happy ending. It's a beginning, but it's also a happy ending for that story, I think, really. Because at some point you've got to put a line under it, like you've said before, haven't you? We talked about it before, that living in that, because I've said this previously on, I think, another episode of the podcast, that we create our own mental prison almost for it, don't we? I don't know, these people, even though they're not in our lives and we cut them off, we still give them power, don't we? And I think for me, when I did my podcast episodes, it was a way for me to take that power back, but also close a chapter. Do you know what I mean? And start a new chapter, kind of thing. So, and I think this is a little bit like that for you with business.
Just keeping my mum in my day-to-day life. But I know what you mean about the power thing, and that's why, like Paul, he's always like, I don't understand how you've never had a go at them. You've never stuck up for yourself. You've never called them and said, this is disgusting. Like, who are you? What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And, you've never said anything. I'm like, no, because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve my time. And that's what they want. They love all that. They love controlling people's emotions and upsetting people. And I'm like, I have no time for that.
No,
go live your toxic life. I'm fine here. Too busy.
Absolutely.
And now I'm too busy baking mum's cakes.
Yay! I love it. So, look, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking to me and sharing your story, sharing it with the world as well now. But
scary.
you have to come back on and bring me your cakes.
Yes, next time I have cakes.
Next time we have cakes. And that brings us to the end of Katie's story. Katie, thank you truly for your honesty, your courage, and for trusting me with something so personal. I cannot wait to see your mum's legacy live on through your cake business. And yes, you'll absolutely be back to update us, preferably with samples. If any part of this series resonates with you, please know this: you are not alone and you are not crazy. Family dynamics can be complicated, they can be painful, and they can make you question your own reality. And that's why we share these stories, so that silence doesn't win. If this episode meant something to you, share it, send it to someone who might need it, join the conversation. Our community is here for exactly this. Thank you for listening, thank you for supporting us, and we'll see you next time on The Next Walk.